Hello guys, welcome to the 18th lecture for Cursor AI for Advanced Users course, and in this video I'll talk about something called as very important concept, memory banks. Okay, so if you think about it, like how teams collaborate on a vibe coding app like Cursor, or if we have a big project that we are working on in Cursor, memory banks sits at the center of it. What memory bank is, let's understand through an example. Okay, so let me go to Cursor. Okay, and inside this, what I've done is I've just opened this folder called as LMS. Okay, so what we can do is basically with this LMS is, let's say I said something like I want to create a LMS based system. Let's implement it. Right, this is one way of saying that, hey, I want to build an LMS. LMS is basically a learning management system, which you must have seen online, like Take You Forward or Chai or Code, something like that, right? So we can just pass this prompt and Cursor would try to implement something, and it will get there somewhere, right? But what will happen is, let's say I'm building some feature here. Let's call this auth, right? So I'm building an auth feature here, and I'm passing this prompt, and inside this particular agent, like one session of this chat, I'm doing this, right? Now what can happen is maybe I start with another chat mode, right? So inside this chat mode, maybe I'm doing something like, maybe I call this, let's call this front end work, right? So inside this front end work, I can start doing this. Now what happens is this chat mode, this another agent chat mode that we have opened, this and this are kind of doesn't know about each other. Okay, so we have to kind of enable some settings in Cursor in order to make this happen. Or actually not settings, actually we can just create a folder. Right, we have already talked about this, like Cursor and rules, but instead of rules, what we can do is we can create a directory called as memory bank. Okay, so this is the directory we want, and inside this we kind of give a set of files, which are markdown files, that we want Cursor to, hey, in your memory across the sessions you have to remember these things, right? Now what are these things? Let me talk about that. We will actually generate one such set of files, like what my LMS should look like. This is like overview of the project. Then my backend APIs, then my front end structure, something like that. Then testing, deployment, all those stuff. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually using ChatGPT to generate this memory bank files, and then we're going to copy paste it like one or two files, and then I'll show you like how Cursor uses this memory bank in order to build features for the LMS system that we are trying to build with Cursor. Okay, so now let's go to ChatGPT. Okay, so I'm inside ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, hey, I want to build a LMS system, and please provide me memory bank files so that I can put it inside Cursor and start implementing it. Right, we want in memory bank, we want something like these files, right? So let's say overview, then we can say overview is one of them, right? Then we can say PRD, right? PRD is something that product manager built, like what requirements that we want in this LMS system. Then we can say front end, then we can say back end, and I also want to say that use your own knowledge to add more files in memory banks. Right, so this prompt looks good to me, and then I'm going to press enter, and now let's see like what ChatGPT does for us. Okay, so let's quickly discuss like what the ChatGPT generate for us. So basically it said that, okay, inside .cursor memory bank you can put all these files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just, and let's quickly go through which files it generated. Overview is one of them, 00, like, and then we have a PRD, which we asked ChatGPT to generate. And basically what will happen is Cursor take these files in and loads it into its memory, and it will persist it across sessions. Now what will happen is, let's say what can happen is Cursor, if we ask Cursor to maybe, hey, now start developing this feature, we don't have to kind of provide the entire thing, like which tech stack to use, which database to use. It will kind of be able to take it from maybe architecture. In architecture, we have already said that, hey, this is the kind of tech stack that we are using. So it will kind of know, and we only have to say that, hey, just implement the payment feature now. Right. So this is the usefulness of memory banks. Or otherwise, what would have happened is if you go inside cursor, and if I tell this now here that, hey, now let's implement something else, then we kind of have to again provide, hey, we'll be using Next.js, we'll be using Tailwind CSS, and all those things we have to provide kind of again and again. This is where memory banks could be useful. Like, not always we have to provide, but yeah, this is the usefulness of memory banks, that you will be always be sure that cursor will be going through these files first to understand like what the structure is and how the features have been built so far, where are the files located, what APIs have been built, right? So we have generated multiple files here actually: architecture, front end, back end, API spec, data model, roles and permissions, content assessments, progress grading, payments, notification, security, privacy, CI observability, roadmap. And one more thing I did is basically that, hey, also create a features.md file which allows me to mark things that are done or not in sequence. Basically this entire features.md file. So basically what it has is, basically I can just copy this in some of the features.md file, and then maybe I can just say, maybe select this feature, right? And ask cursor to let's start implementing this. And what it will do, it will go through these memory banks files and it will actually start implementing based on what we think about that, how cursor should go about building these features. Okay, so that's the importance of memory banks. So let me copy maybe 1, 2. I'll just copy the overview and the PRD for now. Okay, so let me copy this and make sure you also have this 00 overview.md file. So I'll go inside this, make sure you have a directory cursor, and inside this you have a memory bank directory, and inside memory bank directory we'll create this 00 overview.md file, and let me paste this here. Okay, and then we can also make another one. So 01 prd.md, not pod, but prd.md, and let's copy our other one, right? So let me copy this. You could have asked ChatGPT to maybe create a zip of all the files and then paste all of them here at once. That is something also you can do. And what you can do is basically you can have your features.md file somewhere here, or maybe make sure it's caps, right? Features.md file. Then let me go back and we can go down, and where we asked this prompt, also create a features.md file which allows me to mark things that are done or not in sequence. Okay, so I can do is basically I can copy this code and then go back and paste it here, not here, then go back, copy this one and then paste it here. Okay, and make sure initially everything is marked as not started. So yeah, you can cross everything out and then maybe just copy this and then say, hey, start implementing these features. Okay, so you can also see that or if you're maybe checking out that while implementing the stuff that we are asking cursor to do, it's not picking up it from here. You can just say it here, hey, load memory bank, but do not start implementing. Okay, so we can do this as well. Loading the memory bank, reviewing the build file. So you can see it's listed memory bank, it's reading these files, and even features of the MD file as well. Right, so it has loaded the memory bank and it understands that, hey, this is something that I will keep using across the sessions as well. And session is basically this could be one session, and if you start another one, this is another session. So sometimes this is not persisted across session, but with memory banks it is actually persisted across sessions. Okay, now let's quickly talk about the benefits, why memory banks are important. Like we have already done that, but yeah. It persisted context across sessions, scales to large architecture and teams, so that someone else also is contributing in your project. Then basically he also understands that from these MD files that when he is vibe coding, you are vibe coding, all of us kind of referring to the same central memory bank files. Okay, version control, project documentation, again, faster onboarding, right? Because the other person would definitely be able to understand from these files like how this project has been built over time. Then consistent decisions without repeated instructions, right? So this is something we do in Cursor. Like we always maybe right now want to build maybe a video player, or maybe something like a Udemy video player, right? So in that case, it could have gone in that it is actually starting implementing exactly like how Udemy looks like. But we don't want that. We want that, okay, the structure and layout could be there, but it has to use the style and theme that I have implemented in my project, right? So I don't have to provide that repeated instruction that use the theme and styling that we have been using in our project, but instead it will just go to those memory bank files that we have and it will start doing that accordingly. Okay, so that is there, and what we can do is actually, I'll just say that, hey, create a zip of all those files. So please create a zip of all the MD files that you have created for me. Okay, so all the MD files, basically features.mdi is something that we have already copied inside cursor, so that's fine. But yeah, I want these files to be there. So maybe I can remove this for now, right? And then maybe I'll just open the zip and paste them here, right? So let's remove this. So let's go back and let me check if cursor is done. So let's wait for a moment while ChatGPT is done. Let's wait for a moment and wait for ChatGPT to be done, and then we'll do that after that. So yeah, it has created those memory bank files. Let me download the zip and let me check if I extract it. And this is the files, and let me copy from here to here, copy this, go back to cursor, and inside memory bank, I'll just paste those files. I'll say yes, paste. Okay, so all the files are now here. This is really good, and good. Yeah. So what we can do is actually we can just say that, hey, let me copy this and add to chat. Or actually, let me say this first. Sync memory bank, and we can also say that, hey, make sure that it's used across chat sessions. Okay, so it will basically sync all those files, and even features.md, yeah, fine, that is fine also, right? So it is syncing all those files. Yeah, right. So, and we don't want to start the implementation right now. So that is also something we can wait for. Right, syncing the memory bank with the current project, it is trying to create a readme.md file from there. So that is also fine. We can do that. So status.md file is now, where's the status.md file? I think it's creating something of its own. So memory bank contains, let me go to readme file and we'll say keep it for now. And yeah, from those files, it has created these readme files. It is automatically loaded by Cursor AI, right? And let's go to status.md file. We'll say keep it. And what is it doing now? We'll say keep. This is project status, 2 features completed. For complete project context, refer to this. And actually, this is really good, right? It's kind of updating like how our project should refer for different stuff. For memory bank usage, for complete project context, it should use these files, right? So this is also really nice. Like Cursor is kind of doing this for us, and we can say keep them, right? Yeah, and next file. Keep it. So this is a lot now. It is even created cursor rules. I thought this was discarded, but yeah, this is fine. We can just accept all this for now. This is quick index, uses index to quickly navigate the memory bank during chat sessions, and uses index to quickly navigate the memory bank during chat sessions, like getting started. So use this. So, and for specifications, features, this is really good, right? So yeah, this is fine. Status, I think all the files are updated now, right? And then what we can do is we can go to where it actually created our status MD file or something like that, based on features.md sync, right? So basically, based on this features MD sync, based on this features MD file, it has created this file here. So I'm guessing that when I ask cursor to let's probably start implementing this. So I'll just say let's start implementing this. So what will happen is basically when I say that, hey, let's start implementing this, it will be basically going through these MD files to understand like how this project setup should happen. This is very good. Okay, so we'll say let's start implementing this, and actually let's try this. Let me cancel this actually, right? So what we can do is actually even the project setup, monorepo, front end, back end. Let me not pass these nodes here, right? And let's say that we'll just keep it dot here for now, and let's see whether it's actually going through these files or not, because we have somewhere in architecture we have said that we will be using Next.js front end, right? So what we can say is let's copy this. We'll say add to chat, and then we can remove this as well, and then we'll say let's start implementing this, right? Actually it's doing a lot of stuff, but is it following the architecture? Architecture had only this one, so why is it not following the architecture? Actually it is following, right? So basically it has created the front-end project in Next, but we actually said in our architecture.md file that we also want this as microservices, right? So this microservice is kind of making our app monorepo. Monorepo basically will have all of these as separate services inside one repo, right? So this is fine. So we can say, yeah, keep it, we'll go next, keep it, and keep it, and keep it. So yeah, with this one, now cursor has a lot of context and it's actually developing it so fast, and the development is also kind of narrowed down to, hey, this is how my project I want it to be, right? So my goal was not to actually make this entire project, but yeah, this is fine. So let's keep it, and keep it this as well, and keep it, and this is where it's kind of updating other stuff also, like the features, the different features is kind of updating here also. So this is also really nice, right? We can know that, hey, what features completed, what features not completed accordingly. So this is really good, and let's go next, and let's go next. Keep this as well. So this, a lot of features are completed in this one. So it is also updating the status file, basically updating our memory as well. So this is really good. So can we actually work on this right now, and we can start this. So let me check what are the next steps that is given to me. So install dependencies, npm install. So let me open a terminal inside this, right? And let's try npm install, right? My goal was not to actually build this entire thing, but yeah, this is fine. We can just check it out, like what things it has implemented right now. So where am I running npm install? Yeah, I'm running npm install. So what is the issue now? Package.json. Okay, so I think this package.json has some issue. So I'm gonna say that. Let me copy this. I think this should be double quotes, right? So add to chat, getting this issue, right? So let cursor check that out, and it's going to basically tell me that probably the errors are around passing this one JSON, right? So yeah, that's what it did, and it is going to fix it for this as well. So let's say keep it, keep it, keep it, right? It's doing a lot of things, man. So yeah, you have to keep it up with it, and this is how you can learn things as well. So right now it's done. So what you have to do, updated files, these are the files. You can run npm install again. So let me run npm install, and this time does it install or not. And actually we had the commands above to run things, right? Next steps, npm install, go to backend, do this, then add your database URL and npm run dev. We will just run it once and check whether it's running fine or not, and then we will close this lecture. The important thing was, in your memory bank, have these files and all, ask ChatGPT to generate them, and then you will see that, yeah, you now have a lot of good notes to context that you are giving to cursor on how you should go about implementing them, right? So yeah, let's do this. And is it done? Okay, let's wait. I'll check it out later. Packages, backend, front end, and we have a shared repository as well. I think this is how monorepo works. And some of the packages that we have in front end or back end or some maybe util files, something like that, it can be put in shared, so both front end and back end can use it. Maybe schema also something we can put in shared, so front end and back end both can use it, right? So yeah, so that is there. We have installed it. Let's go to packages backend. This is what it said, and then we can run npm run db generate. Let's see if it generates this. db generate failed because I think the URL is not there. The best part is I can just copy this and pass it to cursor, right? So let me copy this, add to chat, getting this error. Okay, so now let's see what cursor does. Okay, so looks like it is fixed. We will run it again. So let me run this, npm run db generate, and is it done? It's done. It's really good. So schema, we are able to run our command. So let me go up and let's check the next command, right? So where is it? I think it will be somewhere below, and we have generated it. Now we can do the migration, right? So it actually applies, or we can see it in our database as well. Not this one, sorry. So npm run db migrate, right? So let's run this, and we have an error says environment variable not found database URL. So I think this is requires some setup. So let me copy this. So we'll let cursor worry about that. And chat, getting this error, right? So I might have Postgres. I should have, probably not. Let's check. So we'll run this and run this as well. So it's fine now, and it's saying that this is how I can set up Postgres in my side. So let me check if I have Postgres or not. Postgres, I don't have probably. So let me check if I can do this. Open updated database URL with the actual Postgres connection URL. So we can create the database using this. So first let me check using this one. Let's go to terminal. Let's clear this one. Let me run this command, and let's check if I have PostgreSQL is not installed. So we can say brew install PostgreSQL at 14, right? So we'll see if we can install PostgreSQL via this one, and if we can, then we'll try to, the goal is to just check once, like there's so many things that it has done, and just checking if we can see the things on like feel it, right? So we can open it in our website or not. Okay, so it's saying that it's there, so we can just now copy this, not this one, copy this one, or actually let me copy this and clear this, right? So let me run this, and now my PostgreSQL service is started. So I think we have done here. So let me try this one. Or actually we can use this one as well. PSQL command to create our database. Let's try that, and looks like our database is created. So now probably we can run the migrations, and npm run, or actually we need to create our database URL, Postgres. I think it's Postgres, and the password is also Postgres, right? So let me now try to run the migrations and enter a name for the new migration. Let's call it initdb, right? So yes, now we are able to run the migrations, and let's go up, and let's see how we can run our app now, right? So we can go to run development servers, npm run dev. So probably where I can run this, maybe outside. Let me try here. Right here we have our main, not here, sorry, command p package json, root package json, and we can run here npm run dev, right? So npm run dev, let's run this, and we have both the front end back end kind of running. So let me open, we have some error here, server listening, no, now it is fine, right? So let me run this. Backend is running on port 3001, front end is running on port 3000. Let me open this one, and if we see some output, then we are good. And yeah, we are here. So we have some errors, but this is fine. But yeah, we are able to build a lot of stuff, and you can go about building other things from where? From our features.md file. Like, you can ask more with cursor, like we were doing in this series so far, that hey, I want to test this, I want to test this. So setup is done, database configurations are done, this config and all. You can also tell to maybe let's try this one now. And yeah, this is a really good setup, right? We have been able to set up a mono repo containing front end, back end, and shared packages in different directories. So this was really good, right? And this happened because in our architecture, we kind of told that, hey, Next.js front end, this back end, Postgres and all, this is also something we said. And then we want these as microservices, right? So this is something Cursor took in and then start working on it like that. So these files are really useful. Okay, and this is how you can build big projects as well, or if you're collaborating in a big team, this is how you can try this as well. Okay, so that is it for this video, guys. Very interesting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.